Hi, and welcome to another episode of We Hate Skill Windows, the best podcast about skill windows and about power fantasies, obviously. Hi, I'm Rai. You may have noticed that I have changed a different avatar from before. That's because this one has face tracking that I made myself. Woo. That,
And I'm
Frosh?
Chris.
Yes. Okay, cool. I was like, and you are Frosh? Okay. Today and on this episode we are reviewing Omniscient Reader for our 16th episode. Let's get into it as it seems like we may have differing opinions this time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How are you gonna fucking slander me, huh?
What do you
Yeah?
mean? Oh, okay.
What are you gonna do to make me hate my favorite novel, huh?
No. I like a lot of the Omniscient Reader characters.
Okay, so right before we started, Chris said uh something about like reading this still feel the same, but you have more context after reading stuff like My Daughter is the Final Boss and Super Evolution, both of which we rated really fucking poorly when we started.
Okay, wait, let me explain that. Okay. So
Okay.
before I was like,
Hmm.
oh, Omniscient Reader is just like this generic power fantasy when I first read it. But I
Generic.
learned
The
there's
thing
like
that
worse.
created the thing that created a genre. And then you read that there were worse. Okay. At least that is fair. I will say it's better than Super Revolution. Everything is better than Super Revolution. It's not a high bar. Scraping the bottom of the barrel, the barrel is literally like caving in because you're scraping through that shit. Super Revolution's like clinging on like the bacteria at the bottom that's formed a micro pseudo layer. Uh, Omniscient Reader is near the top. It's a solid 8 out of 10.
Oh,
I would rate it higher, but I don't know
fascinating.
if it will get higher than an 8 out of 10, even if I give it a 10 and a 10 and a 10. uh, is this show rigged? Maybe. Okay, so I'll talk about what I
Oh,
like about the thing, and we'll listen to you talk about it as well. So to preface this, I have read all of Omniscient Reader, all of the web novel, and all of the webtoon. We are rating this based off of the webtoon, so we're not going to go into any like novel spoilers. However, if you are watching this and you know of the novel and you know of the spoilers, then you know what I'm talking about. That this whole thing is very convoluted and very exceptionally worthy of praise. It's so good. It's it, you haven't read this one either. I can't really compare it, but it's like Denma. I feel like I'm
okay.
triggering you with everything I say sometimes. It's like Denma. Have you ever read Denma, which has like 700 chapters on webtoons and still hasn't finished? You'll figure out that certain authors have the ability to make literal galaxies of information. It's so cool. But, I mean, we can't talk about it. It's all spoilers. Based on the webcomic so far, the webtoon that's on webtoons.com, uh, you can know that, well, Dokja Kim, main character, he is a reader. He has read Three Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, a novel that has serialized for 10 years despite only having one reader. This part is the only most ridiculous part. Who the fuck has enough money to serialize a novel even though there's only one reader? The
Yeah,
motivation
that's
on that shit
good.
must be insane. I I I wrote a novel in middle and high school with a friend of mine at the time, and um, we didn't have like almost any viewers. The first chapter had 700 views. The second chapter had five. So you can tell people really stuck around. Um, and we published 13 chapters in about half a year. Uh, most of the chapters have 1 to 2 views, if even, and that's literally just me reading it back. It it was good. We made a universe. We loved the characters, and we just wanted to write, but boy, that did not pan out well. I would not be able to do it for 10 fucking years. 10 years and only one man reads your novel. But he is very active and he comments on it and he says, "Thank you so much for writing this." I would actually do it for that motivation. Like if he had a reader, but he was like super dedicated and like every chapter you'd just be like, "Yeah, this is good. I liked how this character did this." And like actually gave you good feedback. That would make me want to write. But anyhow, he's a reader. He likes reading. He's like us. Oh man,
It's
we'll be
like
ready.
us.
Listen, if we're on the subway one day, we'll be ready if the world suddenly becomes like like Suicide Hunter or like Suicidal Battle God or something. We'll be ready. The world devolves. You, you suddenly get the ability to draw from the info gacha, and you're like, oh fuck, we're in this shit. It says this class gacha hunter.
Oh my god.
Except instead
We,
of like being able to use the gachas of historical figures, we have the ability to use like gachas of other characters from Power Fantasies. That would be broken. That would
oh,
be broken, you know? That would be broken. You just summon the I'm the fated villain guy and you just go to town.
just someone I have the fated villain.
Yeah, you summon the I'm the fated villain,
Oh,
you instantly demolish and explode everyone around you, and then you steal all their karma.
summon Emperor Luigi.
I don't know if Emperor Luoji would be stronger than I'm the fated villain. I don't think he is. I think I'm the fated villain is
Really?
literally the strongest like MC in terms of raw power that we've seen. Am I wrong? I don't think there's a stronger one.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Unless Wuxia is unless like the Wuxia cultivation novels are just sort of like different power scalings because we don't I guess we don't know how strong like what's the I already forgot the title. What's the one where the main character is like a real piece of shit and he just slaps people around?
Oh,
And
Mad
it
Demon, Crane, Return to the Mad
no,
Demon.
no, not the Mad Demon actually. That's still sort of like a Murim one. It's the one where the main character like comes back after being trapped in the dungeon for 10 years and he's like really ugly when he gets trapped, but he
Oh,
comes out and
SSS Class Disaster
yes,
Hero.
Disaster Class Hero. Yeah, that one. I don't know how strong his power level scales to like a Murim warrior
Oh, that's true, yeah.
because I'm sure they're like classified differently. He doesn't have like cultivation level 430. So, yeah. In terms of what I like about this one, let's talk about the setting. It's set in Korea. However, we don't have much of the nationalist pride that all the other Korean ones have.
It's got a little bit.
It's got a little bit, but it's like necessary because they're literally drawing from Korean stories and fables, which makes sense. And then you see that like everyone else from other every other country has their own fables, and they're all pretty significant. Uh, but first, yeah, so the story is interesting. The setting, while it is still Korea, very quickly devolves into it's no longer the Korea you knew, right? So in terms of you always talking about wanting like something that's not just set in normal daytime, I feel like this should count. I don't know if it will, but uh, and then secondly, the story is really good. But then again, I'm biased. I will be giving the story a 10 out of 10. uh, unless I can be persuaded to do otherwise. And the characters, I mean, listen, Dr. Kim's is so good, and it's a song,
I
and
okay,
then
Doja Kim
there's
is
Jung
actually my
Pop.
least favorite character
What?
in the
What the
goddamn
fuck?
novel or in the webtoon.
What? What? Who's your
I think he's a
favorite?
Mary Sue.
Who's your
Uh,
favorite?
who is my favorite?
Is it Jungkook? I'll take that answer.
Jungkook's cool too.
Damn, not
He's
the
like
right
the
one, huh? You like Pildo or whatever
cool
Pildu?
too.
That's your favorite? God damn it. Oh, I knew I was classed by a businessman who just owns a lot of land. I,
Hmm.
you
Oh,
know,
I think the rest of the side characters don't have enough of
it's
enough
because
of
you
the
haven't read
main
through the 600
story.
chapters, Chris.
Oh, frick.
What a horrible distinction, right? Okay, let's hear it from someone who has not read through all of it. I know you said you got through like 100 something.
150-ish.
Yeah, you're just a noob. You're just
Ugh.
a relevationist or whatever the fuck they call them in that
A
part.
renouncer, one like
Yeah,
700.
you're like the 700th renouncer, and I'm the second or something.
No, you wouldn't be a renouncer because you finished it.
I did finish it. I would just be Dr. Kim. I would just be a fake
Yeah.
prophet. Talk,
Uh,
t defend yourself.
nice.
Uh,
I I think Doksha, he's got kind of questionable morals, but also he's definitely a Marisu. Like he walks through the story and like he's just walking through it with like I don't know, like the answers to each scenario, and he's just kind of like things that happen, he just kind of rolls through. But also, oh, I don't know.
so,
There are times when he like it feels like he'd be getting these character developments, or like the only time we've really seen him like develop some sort of stance is when the bully appeared and when his mom appeared. And we didn't delve too deep into his mom's story, but when his bully appeared, like it didn't really feel like anything changed about him. And the entire arc of that little moment was like a chapter, maybe one and a half.
so I will say,
So it was,
at the very least, I will say this much: the personal skill of the fourth wall that he has fucks up like any meaningful character development he would have because it
yeah,
blocks him out from feeling overwhelmed. It's basically the one skill that like every other Power Fantasy protagonist has, which is like status element nullification. It does a very similar thing. It dispels a bunch of negative effects that would overcome him. Um, I will not deny he is a little plain, but y- but you don't know what he goes through on the 3300th chapter. Oh
uh,
God, what a shit show. I love him a lot more because I've literally stuck until the end with him. At this point in the story, he is still very bland. I will say that much. But he so despite reading the whole thing, he doesn't know what happened in the whole thing, right? So
yeah,
even though he has read the whole novel, Three Ways to Survive an Apocalypse, he only knows what Jun Hyuk did through his regressions. He doesn't know how the third regression goes all the way through. So the fact that they're all on the third regression, they are not able to get off the third regression as long as Jung Hyuk doesn't kill himself, which sounds horrible, right? But one of the ways he can regress is by death. So he can forcibly just die and repeat. But obviously he doesn't want to do so because he would have to reset all the story and have to recruit all the people again. So that's why he doesn't. Um, but the fact is, I bookmarked stuff for this. I literally hold on, let me find the chapter. I think it was one of these. Um, so in chapter 40, no, 41. Wait, what? Hold on. Webtoon says it's episode 40, but then on the chapter selection it says chapter 41. I don't know what's right, but it's one of these. In one of those chapters, they're on the ship, they're fighting through the cinema dungeon, um,
mm,
and he's trying to get Jie to use her
her
attribute,
stigma.
yeah, her sigma to evolve it. And he says, I'm no different from Ji who killed her friends to survive, when I'm using my knowledge of these characters to my advantage solely to remain alive. Like at the very least, he's very much aware that he's like not, he wouldn't be capable of doing this if he didn't know what was happening. Like I feel like what sets apart this character as a main character from like a lot of the other power fantasy people that I read about and still care about is that he he's not like I like some of them are just really he's not morally a good person maybe, but he's not like a bad person. He falls into that third category that we kept talking about last week, where it was just like they're not bad people, but they're not good people. Um,
Yeah.
he so like there's a lot of power fantasies that I've read where the main character they go back in time or they get respawned in a different world or uh transmigrated into a different place or something. And rather than going through it normally in the ones where they go through a novel, they immediately go to seek out the people that will help them the most. But but Doksha didn't do that. He did not want to seek out Jungkook. In fact, he didn't want to run into him in the beginning because he knew that the Jungkook in the third regression is like a real piece of shit. Uh, but I feel like if you were one of those OP characters in any other novel, you would have just went, well, shit, I'll collect all the strong people. Why didn't he collect the serial killer guy at the beginning? He should have. That's what Jungkook did in the novel. He knows he's strong. Why didn't he like just literally recruit all the people that Jungkook did? Like I don't know. I I agree that he's lacking in character development, but he's choosing to do it differently from what the novel did, which I feel like earns him points in my book. Because he could just have an easy life. He could just go through it like super fast. Oh, wait. Also, I guess his mom also knows most of it. So, but well, we haven't talked about her, and we'll really not explore that part until like way later. Um, but yeah, I know so much. I can't say so much. Right now, the story stage that we're in, he is not that fun. Dokcha, that is. He does also still know like I hmm, how to put it right. Jung Hyuk is not a good person either. But as far as the novel says, he's acting on the for the greater good. So he's not a bad person. Would you say outside of the novel that he's a bad person?
Mm, we don't see Jungkook very often, actually, which is very surprising.
Well, he's not the main
Um,
character now, isn't he?
that's true.
So,
Mm,
in a way, I feel like my way of explaining what I feel is that Dosha is trying to like so this is the main reason why he's well using all of his resources, I think, right? So we know that Jungkook can regress. However, he even brings this up, Dosha does. What happens to the worlds that disappear after Jungkook has regressed? On his fourth regression, will Doksha still be the same person? Or will he die and the world resets? Maybe this Doksha just dies. Essentially, like, Jungkook's regressions, from what I understand, and from what the thing is trying to imply at this point, is that if he dies and goes back in time to his next regression, no one will remember anything, and it starts again. But that would mean that everyone that he had met in this playthrough will disappear. There's no chance or guarantee that everyone will be the same. The only constant is Jungkook. Um, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name somewhat correctly, uh, based on how it looks. But I feel like Dojo's just human at that point. He doesn't want to die, right? Like he doesn't want to die and disappear. He's not the person who has that power. He he like has to manipulate parts of the story for him to survive in a way that Jung Hyuk won't just regress and die for, if that makes any sense.
Mm.
I don't know if that is something that you gained or if that's just something that I know from reading too much. But that's why I like him as characters. But you may have a different response to it.
I mean, when I look at the character, I kind of like see like their morality, how funny they are, the relationships they have with their characters. Dokcha, he doesn't pay a lot of attention to other people, to be honest.
Oh, well, rest assured, in another 200 or so chapters, he does. uh, in fact, he pays a lot of attention, always. But not here. He doesn't pay attention to anyone who's not in his party.
I mean, like even within his party, like he like the novel's like, oh yeah, Dokcha cares so much about this person. He's like with Hannah or what's her name, the little girl.
The Beast King
Yeah,
reincarnation,
yeah.
future
That
one.
little girl, like he's her supporting constellation,
Hmm.
but like in terms of the story, not a lot of actual like story time is put into exploring like their relationship, like anything related to like how he's now her father figure. Like there's not even with some of the older characters like Senga, like we get like little bits and pieces of him interacting with a lot of different characters, but we don't really understand a lot, I guess.
So I will say, are we basing this off of the webtoon still?
Yeah.
The webtoon has cut out a large amount of what I would say the character interactions are like outside. The novel does go into them, I feel like a lot more
Yeah, I remember the novel, like
because he
Gilliam.
actually has like places where he just like they chill, they talk about their life, they think about things. But the no the webtoon just sort of cuts it out because it's boring. Like if you're reading for a battle power fantasy, you're not gonna care about like story plot line and you're not gonna care about oh they went on a picnic today. You're gonna be like skip,
Oh,
get me to the next episode. I don't care. Like I don't think the audience is right to put that in, unfortunately. But true, if we are rating this as we are on the webtoon alone, he no one
the
really talks
characters
about
don't
themselves
feel very, yeah, the characters don't feel very,
fleshed out,
yeah.
or at the very least,
Like
they're
I,
all like guarded AF. You don't know shit about
yeah,
Jungkook. You know that Dokcha knows about Jungkook, but you don't know what the fuck he talks about. That one chapter though, where he was like in the cinema dungeon and he yells about all the shit that's gonna happen in the future, I was like, oh my god, look at him go, my boy. But oh, also, why the fuck? Can we talk about like why when he's impersonating Junghyuk, why does everyone go like, oh, he's not handsome enough? Isn't
oh
he
yeah.
plenty handsome?
Okay, that was my first
Is that the
reaction
one
because I remember
Korean
the
thing
web
that I don't
novel.
understand? Like
In the web
Koreans are like
novel, I don't think, yeah.
unusually like dedicated to plastic surgery, right? Is that like the thing they're getting at or
Yeah.
something?
I think
Like
this
his
is just a
features
really
aren't good
crappy
enough?
joke that the comics is trying to make. Because in the web novel, Kim Dokcha didn't think he was handsome, but in this one, he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm pretty
No, Kim
handsome."
Dok-cha in the web novel is super fucking like humble and honestly a little depressing. He's a
Yeah,
lot
in
more
this one,
self-aware and grounded. But in this one
in
he's
a,
a bit more cocky feeling.
I think
At least
because
he's
they
drawn a bit
actually
more
drew him
cocky.
fairly handsome.
They
Yeah, like
did.
he actually like,
They did.
and it's just like everyone's like, oh look, this guy's kind of ugly, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
what?
this guy looks. He says he's Junkyoki, but it's not that pretty. Yeah, I don't think he's him. Like, what are you
I'm just
basing
like,
that
what
off
the
of? What sort
frick?
of like
Who?
Korean standard of beauty are you guys going off of? He looks plenty handsome. The fuck?
Yeah, like honest to God, what the frick?
Yeah,
Anyway,
maybe
yeah,
that's the
that
only
was
part
that was
that
just
I
whack.
was. The Koreans are. Maybe Doksha on the Korean scale is just like a 6 and Jungkook's like a 10. But like, how do you describe that? How do you determine that shit? It's fine. Things will be revealed in time. If Omniscient Reader literally all goes all the way through, like Solo Leveling did, which I'm assuming they will, because they have such a big contract here, um, in another like 100 or so chapters, you'll probably find out a bit more about these people.
Solo
But
Leveling was a lot shorter than Omniscient Reader.
uh, Solo Leveling, yeah, I actually don't remember how many chapters.
I
Let me
remember
see.
reading it really quickly, but Omniscient Reader, I remember
Solo
like reading
Leveling web
it and I was
novel, how
like,
many chapters? Let
ooh.
me just look at that. It has table of contents. 270 chapters is when it ended off. Yeah, Omniscient Reader has at least
Has a
600 or
thousand.
700.
It's got
A
a
thousand?
thousand.
Oh, okay.
I remember trying to read it and going, I'm on chapter 150. I'm not gonna read to 1,000.
Ah, I see.
uh,
I remember reading up to like 600 or so, and then I just like every time blended together. So I thought it was at like 600, 700, but I might have been wrong, and that could have been the number that One Piece was at when people were talking about One Piece back like 3 years ago. So I don't
oh
know.
my,
One Piece
wait,
is at a
maybe
thousand.
I'm wrong. It's only at 551 apparently.
Oh, was I more correct? The fuck?
I remember thinking
Did I
like,
get
frick,
gaslit into
1,000
thinking my number
chapters.
was wrong, and then my number was actually right because I didn't actually check if it was wrong? Oh boy.
Maybe I'm thinking of that the thing we were talking about last week, the Infinite Goku thing.
Super Gene? Super Gene has at least 1,000 chapters. Don't you worry, Super Gene is long as fuck. You're not gonna get rid of Super Gene. Though actually, hold on. Wait, it says Super Gene completed. How long is Super Gene? It completed? Maybe I can actually read it.
3,462.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I stopped reading around probably like 1,800 or something. I just dropped it like prior to the pandemic. Oh, it's got a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh, maybe we should review that one. I think it
uh,
has a webcomic. It probably does. Like Overgeared has a webcomic. The fuck's wrong with that? Why would you do such a thing? Oh my god, wait, look at did you also go on like read light novel to check that or
I went on webnovel.com.
uh I'm on a different site. This different site though, it was the one that I used to read Omniscient Reader on. I'm looking at the alternate title, the new novels that they're covering. Some of these are like really horrible. Alternate world. I started with two SSS templates.
Oof.
It's rated at a 2.5, and I would probably agree. After turning into a little skeleton, I got contracted by a goddess. What the fuck is this? I'm
Why
the
do
villain's
people like these
constellation, but I'm
stories?
broke. Sin system demonic harem after reincarnation.
Mm.
Reincarnated as the strongest ancestor with a system.
Oh,
Oh, these
that
are
would hurt me the
horrible.
most. Oh my
Global
god.
dungeon, my support is too strong. What?
Oh,
These
oh,
sound
oh,
genuinely
this sounds
horrible.
so horrible.
Oh god, and here's a Musho one. I am the entertainment tycoon. What? Are you gonna play Coaster Tycoon or something? Like, what? I woke up my vegetative husband after book transimmigrating. That almost sounds decent, actually. I pick up a bunch of attributes. That's just one. That's straight to the point, huh? Oh, and then look at this shit. What the fuck is this? Blood Titan What? Oh no! Wait. Hold on. I'll send this one to you. This one's egregious. I'll link it in the Discord chat. Just tell me what this one reminds you
Oh
of.
no. Actually,
It's called
there.
Blood Titan System. For those of you who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I'm talking purely on Discord, I've come across a novel on the site called Blood Titan System. The description: in a world teeming with titans, colossals, gigantic monsters, and kaijus, Arian, who reincarnated, makes his living collecting scraps of low-grade defective genetic serum. Realizes he's transimmigrated along with the system. Follow Irian as he grows to become the strongest disaster grade Titan with the help of his Titan system. And
Oh, why
and
did
the
they
picture
make?
is literally like Eren as as, whatever his Titan is, the Battle Titan or whatever,
Oh, frick.
but with like
Yeah,
more
whatever. Attack
musculature
Titan.
and shittier shading. Dude, this is so. The rating is 9.10. People are shit.
Maybe it's like a really funny parody. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't appreciate that.
that we should review this one day. This sounds like a genuine shit show. Let's rip
Oh
the
my
fuck off of Attack on
god.
Titan, but make it like shittier
A
and
power fantasy.
with like skill windows. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. Hmm. For the sake of consistency with maybe seeing if shorter reviews work better for the algorithm, though, do you want to review this? Do the ratings?
Sure.
Art. This thing has a big budget. It's got good art.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It's unfortunate. Some of these just have a lot more money than the others. This one is one of them. This one's
This
got a
is
good deal with webtoons. They have no shortage of money, I would assume. They only have shortage of deadline, probably. Like, this is, it's really good art.
very well drawn.
Really well drawn. A lot better than what I even thought it would be. The Dokkaebi or whatever, when they're mad, you see like all the veins on their face. It's incredible. The level of detail they put into this is insane. Story. If we're basing it off of the web novel, the story would be an 100 out of 10. But if we're going by the story of the webtoon itself, at the very moment, it's not gotten to anything particularly interesting. And what I'm talking about is stuff that happens like another 50 or 100 chapters later. It's like still sort of boring. When I read it every week, I'm like, ah, yes, another chapter. Cool, nothing fucking happened. Cool. Like, it it's setting
Okay.
up and it's slow, and it has to be slow because it's setting up for a fuck ton of shit. But it's not the most interesting. Like, yes, we
It
just
doesn't
saw
feel
his
like
mom.
anything is going anywhere, really.
No,
Because
and
everything's dictated by the scenarios. And it's kind of
it's a
like
thing
this next
where
scenario.
like 600 chapters later or 500 whatever chapters later, you'll be like, "Oh my God, he set it up. The author set it up in chapter 20. Oh my God." Right? But like we haven't gone there and we're not going to get there for a few years. So, at this point, the story so far, based on me rereading it back in the last like couple of hours, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. Oh, you're
Okay.
gonna rate it lower. Don't worry. Crash the rating. Go, go, go.
I mean,
You're gonna give it a
there are
4.
some arcs that I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then there's some arcs where I was like, why are we here?
I mean, if it was me, I would
Um,
say the bully arc was a little dumb.
The Foley arc was. I didn't like the
but it
stupid
was like,
storming the National History Museum arc either.
wait, you didn't like him actually being a piece of shit and just like get the strongest relic in here so I can summon a fucking star sign and uh I like it
It
because it's
was just
BS.
okay.
But yeah, honestly, at this point in the story, hmm, maybe I'll get a I'll hear your rating and maybe I'll adjust mine.
I,
Yes.
hmm, okay, so I'll give it. I think I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll keep my rating then. If you were gonna go down to like a 4, I was gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'll give it a 7.
I I
Because
don't think
I
it's like.
like I know I'm blinded, and I'm going to be blinded. I'm gonna be biased as fuck. But like you have read far less, so your opinion is probably the more correct one in terms of reviewing it. Because I'm so spoiled by the source material. I know everything that will happen. Well, not everything now. It's been like 2 years since I've read it back again, but it was a very touching story for me. So for me, this has a huge place in like the legends, and it fucking birthed a genre. Do you know how many of you? We know this. We know how many
Solo leveling
fucking
burned the genre. Is solo leveling good?
yes. If we review solo leveling, we'll get a 10 out of 10 out of 10. What do you mean? Yeah,
Uh,
there's this one chapter in solo leveling where it does everything for me. It's the one chapter where the one guy's brother goes to Korea, beats the fuck out of the main character's like sworn brother, and then he literally like beats the living shit out of the strongest man in the world. That's the best chapter. It it's such the pinnacle of writing. The peak. You've never seen something so great. Uh, I'm so biased. Characters. Well,
okay, this is actually gonna take a bigger hit than the story
y-
does. I
and I will admit that it will take a bigger hit. Like you said, and like I've agreed, Kim Dokcha is very boring right now. And that's not to say he will remain boring. He will get better, but yeah, we'll say at the moment he's really boring. Like in fact, people probably like just reading this and not reading the web novel. You like what was your opinion on finding out like the plagiarist and her story, if
eh,
you remember? Yeah? Okay, never
uh,
mind.
yeah.
Um, like for me, reading it back like just now, I was like, I think I care more about the plagiarist at this point than Kim Dokcha.
You're right. I do care more about
Like you
her
know how
than
like
Kim Dokcha.
you so Dokcha's the reader. You know that he knows everything, but he's really boring in that way right now. Like he's just using it I know the future, blah blah blah. Uh,
Yeah,
like
he's doing the generic thing.
he's doing generic things. So right now I care a bit more about Sangha because she doesn't show up in the novel. I want to see like what she does. Also, she's contracted to literal
Nebula.
Olympus, and that's cool. And that means she'll be strong in the future. Um, and yeah, I like the Insect Kid and like Jungkook. I'm more interested in Jungkook at this point than Dokcha. And it's not Dokcha's fault. He's just boring. I think he knows he's
It's
boring.
just boring.
He's just sort of boring. But he is the main character. So as it does, we will give it a 6 reluctantly. And I'll wait while Chris like shits on it more.
I
Will you
I
also be
think
giving?
I think a 6 is actually really. That was exactly what I was gonna give it.
Oh, oh. If I had given this a
I
10, would you have been like, would you have really questioned me? You
If
probably
you
would
gave
have.
the an out of 10, I would have been like, okay, this is some rigged crap.
It was rigged from the get-go. I was gonna give it a 10 no matter what. Okay, so we got a 10, a 7.5, and a 6. I can't do math, so let's look that up. 10 plus 7.5 plus 6 is at 23.5 divided by 30. So 7.83. Alrighty.
I don't know if it deserves that.
It deserved higher. The fuck do you mean? What are you talking about? Literally deserved higher. Look at that. Only a 7.83. Not even an 8. Did we give Lazy Lord an 8? I need to actually write down
We
what
give
we
Lazy
gave
Lord a
everything.
9 point something.
What? No. Fuck, Lazy Lord deserves it. We should have given it just a straight up 10 out of 10. Did you read the latest chapter? It's so good. It's so good. It's just like refreshing. It's a palate cleanser. Goddamn. When you're eating shit all day, reading all the other fucking pieces of shit out there, you read Lazy Lord and you instantly everything is better. It's like a what's it like a not a placenta like a panacea? What's it called?
Oh yeah, Panasha.
Yeah, like a thing that like a or whatever it's called. So like something that doesn't do
Echinacea?
anything, right? Like
Oh, a placebo?
placebo, yeah. Right? Wait, is it that? Wait, or is Planation what I'm thinking about? What is Planatia?
Panacea's the thing that cures everything.
Okay, so it's a Planation, not a placebo. Never mind. So it's a Planation. My bad. The words are were similar, and then I was like, it's definitely not placenta. It's like a placenta. You eat the placenta, and then you gain the knowledge of the
I was
world.
very concerned when you said that. I was like, eat the placenta. What are you talking about?
I feel like there was a thing a while ago. There was like a point where people were like talking about eating placenta. Hold on, eating placenta after birth. Yeah, there's benefits of eating the placenta.
Oh, wait,
There's a lot of
actually,
people out there that are like, yeah, probably maybe something around like 2019, I think. Here's a news article on NPR. Yeah, there was like a literal point in time where people were all talking about eating their placenta after birth.
huh,
But
huh.
there's no like actual benefit really. It's more like a superstition thing more than anything else. But yeah, no, there was definitely a point where people were talking about, oh man, I ate my placenta after birth and it gave me such hormone balance and stuff like that. So it's a thing. But I'm not here to eat the Lazy Lord as a placenta, nor did I birth the Lazy Lord. So overall, that is a 7.83 out of 10. Wait, did you recommend this one or did I recommend it? I forgot.
I did.
You did, yes, because I recommend the Fate of Valen. Yes. Okay, so do I get my turn to send us to shit hell again?
Yes. Yes.
We can
Take
alternate
us
between
away.
good hell and shit hell, where I just send us to shit hell and you send us to like decent hell.
Wait, I have the harder job.
Yeah, because there's less of them out there. Yes. I mean, the week after you can just give us villain to kill or something, and we could just have a good time.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Well, in my eyes, the Doctor's Rebirth, or like something like that. But you might not agree with that. Apparently, you apparently have differing opinions on that one. Okay, so out of the ones that I want to recommend, time to pop on a Sora again. Oh, yeah, out of the ones, we probably should review this one. Huh? We
Ooh, is it
should
one of the
actually.
top 10?
It is. I We haven't reviewed it for some reason.
Return of the
Actually,
Manhwa? Oh, go ahead.
well, we could review that one. Wasn't the one that I was thinking
Oh,
of, but this one's really fucking long. I don't know if I want to read through all of it again.
which one? Worn and Torn movie.
Worn
Are
and
you about
torn
to say
movie.
that? Okay.
Worn and torn movie.
Doctor's Rebirth is also really long.
Yeah, the issue is I've actually like recently read through Doctor Rebirth again. Worn and torn movie is
Oh,
like
okay.
really long, but I like literally stopped reading it after 100 chapters. I was like, so it's not that many chapters to keep up on, but this is one of the ones where he's just sort of like he gets sent back in time, and instead of like doing anything decent with his time, he's like, ah, well, what if I like ranked up to level 100 in Lost Ark before anyone else? Like,
I like
like,
that.
like, why bother? And what if I was top on the Korean servers and the American servers? Like, oh man, like, but I do think it's worth reading. It's got. Do you want to sit through that shit, or do you want to pick a
Yeah, let's
smaller
do it.
one? All right.
Oh, I'm fine with yeah.
Worn and torn newbie. I'll select a slightly different color. It's red because
Ooh.
no, it's gonna be like this color because that's the color of his fucking like skin suit. All right, we'll see people next week then. Uh, this one it takes place in a game, literally has skill windows. Don't worry, we'll be well. Actually, yeah. Ending note here. What was your opinion on Omniscient Reader skill windows? It has skill windows.
It
Did you hate them?
does, and
They're not obtrusive though. They're not
they're
like
not the worst.
hugely horrible.
Yeah, he doesn't do any like his. Some of his
He
powers
doesn't.
are based on
It's
the
not
skill
just chapters
window.
of him just like click click. I have 137 skill points to allocate. Which one should I put into bonus
Yeah,
wise? Oh no, I got a level up
yeah,
reward. Let me reach into my inventory. Like he doesn't do that at least, right? So it's better than some of those. I don't think it needed it personally. I feel like if you just had like the skills that you had in like, well, no, it's more useful to the reader that we have skill windows. Let's put it that way. Because in Kim Dojo's way as well, he's like reading the profile of the character. Actually, that's a great question to wonder. Do anyone else? Does any? Oh no, they all have skill windows. No, they definitely do. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. I feel like they were like not terribly needed in this story. I feel like the story could have survived without having skill windows, but I could be wrong.
yeah. It's it's kind of annoying, but it's like it's yeah, like you said, it wasn't like integral to the his powers or anything.
Hmm.
And it's not like he did something really obnoxious like order food off his skill window. Oh.
Are you still mad about I'm the fated
Druid of Soul
villain?
Station.
Oh, the
Oh,
druid.
I am the fated villain doing it too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did it like once and it was like, ah, yes, food.
I'm just like, this is not only pointless, it's just
Druid of
so
Soul
stupid.
Station? Yeah, I could go into my shop and I can buy bread and water? Huh?
Oh my, when I saw that, I was like, why are we here? What's the
After,
point?
oh, we should have just reviewed Druid of Soul Station next. We could have relived your trauma again.
I don't hate
Anyhow.
Druid of Soul Station, but that one literally does not need skill windows. And every time I see it, I'm just like,
But how
something's
else
wrong.
would they know that they leveled up from C rank or to yeah D rank to C rank in the middle of a dungeon clear after 13 hours?
Uh,
Uh, well, that is where we are going to leave off this episode. Thank you as always. If you have found this through some other means and have actually read till the end, watched until the end, thank you. And also, what the fuck? 41 views on uh my school life pretending to be a worthless person? How's wrong with people? Read the Lazy Lord, damn it. So much better. Spend your time reading not just a 9 out of 10, spend your time reading a 100 out of 10. Come on. You want a good time, right? You don't want to just anyhow. We'll see you next week. Happy holidays as well for those of you who are either in school and just getting out of school and have holidays to go through and all that stuff. It'll be a fun time. Don't let the snow
yeah.
destroy you too hard. Goodbye.